This is Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox.
Hey, Clint, man, it is so awesome to be here with you. You know, before we even got started, I got to share with you a story, and I don't want to kind of repeat myself, but I want the audience to hear it because I grew up with you. It's crazy that, you know,
I've never met you before in my life.
Well, we're going to talk about high school in just a little bit because I found out something interesting at your Hall of Fame exhibit, which was amazing, by the way. Okay, unbelievable.
Yeah, they did a fantastic
What
job.
a great job. Love the tailgate. Probably my favorite thing there is that tailgate. Super cool. But I grew up in 70s and 80s with my mom and dad, you know, country music, Merle and Johnny Cash and Tammy Wynette. Like, that was all I knew. Never heard a rock song, a little Elvis here and there, but never Beatles, never anything. So when I got into high school, that's when I started finding my own country music, and it was Travis Tritt and a few other people. And then as I think I was going into my junior year, you came along, man. And I mean, you came out of nowhere. And of course, you know what I'm talking about. Killing Time was everywhere.
Heard about that.
You hear about the song. It's pretty good. It worked out pretty well for the guy who wrote it, I think. But in all seriousness, your story in my life was that you got me through high school. I go into the Marine Corps. I'm hanging out with all these rednecks from southern Georgia and Florida. Who's going with us? Clint Black. You've been in Humvees with us. You've been in helicopters. You've been in, when we're in Somalia, you were there with us. All these crazy things that we did. And it got me thinking, my first question for you is, it has to be weird for you. What does it feel like when somebody sits down with you and you're kind of like a soundtrack to their life? Has anyone ever asked you that question before?
No, but I've been asked kind of questions that are similar in terms of meaning a lot to people, or my music meant a lot to people. At the risk of sounding like I'm comparing myself to Merle Haggard, I know how that felt. I know how it felt for me meeting and hanging out with Haggard. And so I use that to appreciate what someone is telling me about how much I mean to them. When people tell me I'm great, I was talking in my book about, you know, controlling the ego.
Right.
I always discount compliments by 40%. And then I know what I think of myself. What you think of me is irrelevant to the point of, you know, impacting my ego.
Right.
I try to take it to heart and appreciate it, but I'm always fighting the ego and trying to downplay it. But I know what people's music has meant to me.
Yeah.
I mean, what Haggard, James Taylor, Willie, Waylon, Jimmy Buffett, you know, what they meant to me, it was, to me, those were the priceless treasures of my youth that shaped me. Their poetry impacted my philosophy. I can appreciate where it's coming from, but it's a dangerous game to play.
I love it. And speaking of your book, because I got to bring it up, you know, there's so many pieces. There's so many things in the memoir that I love, right? The water moccasin literally had me laughing. And I'm sorry I'm laughing at you as you're going underwater.
Yeah, I can laugh about it now.
It was crazy. But you know the one, and it's funny because there's Clint Black, the artist that I grew up with that I love, and I can horribly sing most of your songs, right? And it's just awesome. Good Run of Bad Luck, one of my favorite ones. Desperado. Dare I say it, better than the Eagles ever could have done. I mean, it gives me
When I wrote that song for them, I thought maybe I should do it, but
the one that you're going to laugh at me. There's one, and it's probably 7 sentences, if that. You were selling newspapers, and you were a hustler. And I love how you would, instead of walking around the guys, you walked up to and tried to sell them some paper. I think that was great. But the lady with the jeans had me dying. So have you ever thought about how insane that story was to be that young?
From the moment it happened, I was thinking that. This is insane. Am I walking into a trap? I can see the whole apartment from the doorway.
Oh, man.
You know, so it seemed pretty safe. I needed to sell subscriptions. So, you know, it was one part, I'm going to make a sale here, and it was another part, this is so outrageous, I have to do it.
That is, like the book is there's so many pieces. Every time I'm like, okay, what should I do? And we were going on a trip and I was trying to read, but I can't read when the plane's bouncing around. So I downloaded the audio. So I bought the books and I've got the audio books. I'm helping you out, man. I'm buying them in every direction. But there's so many pieces that made me laugh. But one of my favorite, not really favorite stories, but was about the guitar that your mom and dad, I think it was your 15th birthday, if I remember correctly.
Christmas.
It was Christmas. Okay. It was the J40 acoustic, right?
Yeah.
And as you know, I'm a guitar nerd. I love it, right? Love this stuff. And then it got stolen. But when I went to your exhibit, there was that replica or reissue.
Yeah, reissue.
So all these memories are flooding back to you, right? As ZZ Top manager, it's all these things that I've read that I have all these questions, but I want to go a different direction. And as you reflected on this amazing career and your amazing wife and the stories and all these things, how difficult was it for you to write that memoir? Like, because there's got to be a million stories that you would love to have shoved into the book.
Yeah, there were 2 other near drownings. One was really serious.
Oh,
the
no.
other one I probably could have survived, but someone rescued me. Yeah, lots of other stories, assaults. I had a gun pulled on me. Once I had a knife pulled on me at a concert. I got attacked in a parking lot, kicked in the head, knocked to the ground.
So are we trying to be Merle Haggard?
Yeah, so going to jail. I put that one in there.
Met Jesus?
But, yeah, just like the Bob Seger song, what to leave in, what to leave out.
Right.
I had help with that, with Craig Shelburne and, of course, my editor, publishers. The idea was I'll overwrite, and then someone will tell me what's too much or what needs to be expounded upon. And so that made it easier.
Now, how about your daughter? Has she read the book? Do you know if she's actually got through it?
Yeah.
And how, because listen, when I say you're a rock star, okay, so obviously, everyone says, I don't mean rock star as a musician. I mean, you led this rock star lifestyle. Again, meeting Jesus, zipping up the lady's pants. I mean, you've got some wild stories. And I believe your daughter's name's Lily, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
What did she come to you and go, seriously, Dad, why did you put that in the book? Did that happen at all for you?
She had heard a lot of stories, but not my whole story. I remember her telling me that she was telling a friend, I'm sitting around and my dad's just suddenly talking about George Harrison and being with George Harrison, hanging out and jamming with George Harrison. And we go, who are you? And so she realized at a certain point that I had this extensive life experience. But reading the book, I think, engendered in her some sympathy that wouldn't have otherwise been there. Yeah. And she and Lisa both, would, just be in tears over certain parts of the book. And Lisa always joked, why didn't you call me? And Lily just couldn't believe. And there are other things I've told her that I didn't put in the book. But she's probably the biggest reason I wrote it, so that she could understand and have something of her dad.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I won't mention on air the TikToks and the dancing videos, but I encourage our audience to definitely go see Mr. Clint Black's moves, because I love it. Because you're like me. My daughter asked me to do something silly. Yeah, baby, let's do it. Let's smile the whole way through it.
She'll pester me. I'll say no. I'll say no.
Does that work?
She'll pester me, and then she'll enlist her mom to pester me. Yeah, it eventually
I love
works.
it, man. It is, and it's so cool to be humanized, right? Because now, like, people see in there,
they think I'm actually human.
There's so many things. Like, I know you're coming to Orlando in September, so I'm bringing my family to that. So we're going to be really excited. Making my kids go listen to what I call real country music. I want them to hear it. But you brought this up, so I got to ask you. I didn't know there's multiple drownings potentially, right? So I saw you were doing a cruise in February, like a country western cruise or something like that.
On this one, I'm performing it all at the dock.
That was what I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
If you need a life vest.
I just did one. I flew straight from my Ryman shows to Cancun.
Oh, cool.
Got on the ship and rode it back to Tampa.
Well, we need to make sure you're wearing a life vest while
very
you're there.
calm seas that trip.
All right, so I have to ask you, because we have a retirement show, and we deal with people that are in their late 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and these are the people that have been listening to you from their 20s and their 30s. And as I was reading your book, one of the things I wanted to ask you was going to be about retirement, because that's what I do. I help people figure out retirement and how to enjoy it. But as I read your book, correct me if I'm wrong, I love to be wrong, but I'm like, I don't think this is a retirement kind of guy. Like, it seems like to me you love this stuff, and you, instead of asking about retirement, let's talk about fulfillment, like that love, that peace in your heart that you get. Because before we got started, I saw a different side of you I never knew existed. You're like, hey, the lights hit me this way. Let's do, like, you're so detail oriented. I love.
You see enough of yourself on the internet, you start to understand why you look weird.
That's awesome.
You know,
but what does 10 years down the road look like for Clint Black? Like, what is it going to be?
I don't really know. When I hit 60, I realized each decade goes faster, and 70 would be here in no time. So I did a reevaluation of things, got with my manager, said, you know, we need a marketing guru to kind of figure out a 10-year plan for my music, my catalog, what's going to happen with it, what am I going to burden my daughter with in terms of my legacy, and what is she going to have to try to manage. It was the best thing I've ever done personally for my career and my work. Because I've written all my songs, I have all my publishing, and then also the master recordings come back to us artists 35 years after they were issued. Wow. So that stuff's going to come back. And what's going to happen? So the immediate thought is 10-year marketing plan to figure out what am I going to leave to manage, and can I set her up with someone to help her manage and all of that. It's like leaving your kids properties and they just going to put it on the market and sell it, or what do they want to do?
And it's so relatable because all my clients and all my listeners, it doesn't matter if you have a ton of money or you have a little bit of money, you still are thinking about how do I get
a few things.
It's insane. Okay. So again, we talked about
no retirement ever in mind. The only thing that'll make me retire is if I see myself on somebody's Instagram post and I sound terrible.
Is that it?
If I've lost it, I'm done.
Like, is it Ricky Valley or one of the guys that does the Instagram thing where he's not moving? He's like almost like a animatronics. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
There comes a point.
Yeah, there are a few people, and you love it so much if you're still driven to go do it.
Right.
And people want to come and enjoy that, then I say do it. For me, this is what I'm saying about it now.
Right.
But if I get to that point, I don't know how I'm going to feel. So I don't like to draw hard lines for myself. I just know I'm still getting better. I haven't peaked in terms of my abilities because I keep pushing through walls as a musician and improving. And when that stops, I'll have to start looking at people's Instagram posts and seeing how am I really doing.
There it is. Yeah, because the internet is known to be somewhat honest with you very quickly, and they don't care if you feel good or bad about it. So we were talking about guitars earlier. I love guitars, even though I can't play a chord. If you gave me $1 million, I couldn't pull it off right now. But I got to ask you, because you've got some really cool stuff that I've seen, and I'm sure there's so much stuff I haven't seen. It's a fun question. House is burning down. You can only grab one guitar, just one. That's it. Which one do you grab as you run out the door?
The only guitar that comes to mind is a 1961 cherry red dot neck 335 Gibson. But that wasn't the first thing that came to mind.
Right.
My first thought about the guitars was those are replaceable.
Yep.
What I would be doing is trying to grab my cognac collection. I have cognacs dating back to 1800 that are consumable and better than anything modern. But I started collecting those as a history buff. And so I have 1800s, 1802, 1805, 1811, 1820s, all the way up to, well, I think the 1940s are the most modern. And so that was what popped into my head. So honesty, right?
I love it.
You said guitars. I was like, no, not guitars. I think the cognacs are more precious, although maybe not as valuable. But then I had to think of the guitars, and it would be the 335. I traded Joe Bonamassa 2 guitars for that.
Okay.
They were both old. One was older than that, but this was precious guitar.
And you just keep surprising me because you don't say things I expect you to say, which I love, by the way. All right. And it made me think of a piece of the book. Again, back to the memoir real quick. And It was that you had your buddy at the, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, but at the guitar store that you would borrow the Gibson, or it was a Martin, I think it was. You'd go
Kevin
play.
Perry.
You'd have to go back and put it back when the Martin rep came in. You did that back and forth. And that's great. But I loved when you said, hey, look, when I finally got that first big check, I went down and bought 3 guitars. And this is what I love about you. As you notice, he was trying to figure out your discount. And you said, hey, buddy, you don't have to do that. And that speaks volumes for you. And I got to know, in your Hall of Fame, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been there, you got to go check this out. It's amazing. That D45 that's in there, was that one of those 3 guitars?
Yeah. Oh. And that's one until the Hall asked for some items I'd been playing on the road. That story for me is hard to tell without getting emotional, because it was a turning point in my life, going from so broke I couldn't afford to pay attention,
right,
that I was able to pay full price for 2 Martin D45s, a Martin D40 BLE they only made 40 of, some great Mark Leave guitar cases. It was an important moment after all those years of uncertainty.
Eating chili and adding ketchup to it, eating chili, adding ketchup to it, right? What a story.
Make a bowl of chili go a long way.
We ate soup, beans, and cornbread growing up many, many times. So I always like to end interviews that I have with a question that kind of separates me from anybody else. And you've done 1 million interviews in your career. So I always ask this to everybody. What is one question that you wished an interviewer would ask you that nobody ever has? Is there something that you would love to share with our audience and just with me, of something that you're like, nobody ever asked me that.
Nobody ever asked me that. I wish they would. It would be, why are you so much better than everyone else? Nobody ever asked me that. Have you ever noticed that, Barrington?
I got to laugh at me. I love it.
It's because I thought of a Steve Martin line, which was, my humility is one of the greatest things about me.
It's only hubris if you're wrong.
No,
just keep that in mind. It's only hubris if you're wrong.
Yes. I think all of the questions have been asked. I can't think of anything. I think what I most enjoyed, and I noticed when I went to Ireland for the first time, all the questions were different than all the other questions I'd been getting about relationships, about the black hat, fame, and all of that stuff. And the questions were, when you and Mark O'Connor recorded your harmonica and fiddle parts, were you together? How did that work? Or the questions were the double entendre with this lyric and the meaning of it. When you wrote that lyric, which way were you thinking of it? And it was just, of course, poetry, Ireland, a lot of the focus was on the poetry of my music. And then it became an interesting analysis of my own work that I hadn't really probed. And so it was making me think. And it was interesting. It was exciting. It was exciting to talk about the work. And I think most people wouldn't even know which questions to ask when it comes to sessions, right, recording overdubs and that sort of thing. So it's not like I expect them. But the actual work itself is where my pride comes from. Yeah. My success, the record sales, the awards, all of that is shared with a great big team of people, right, who've come in through my life. But the one thing that I can take credit for is the writing. Yeah. Or I share it with one other person or maybe 2 other people that I'm co-writing with. So that's the one area that for me is really exciting to talk about because it is this one thing that I own solely.
And that's what attracted me to this guitar. I want you to know that.
This was an unusual. This was, I asked them to do something on that guitar design, and the response was, we don't do that. We will not do anything that infringes upon the logo. And so they went to Bob Taylor. You can see the quill pin inlay runs through the logo. And they went and Bob Taylor approved it. He said, yeah, we'll do it this once.
That is awesome. As I did the research, I just want you to know on this guitar, before we ever met or any of this stuff, of course, These Times, the song I remember, my dad he'd sing it to my mom. I must say, if my dad was alive, he would sing better than you. All right. I got to say that, but he's not. So it was not better than you. Okay. But he would sing it in the house and laugh and have a great time. But I love this story. And I love that you're a songwriter first. And I think that that's so powerful. And it's been an honor just to meet you. It's been an honor to share with my audience, a little bit of everyone knows they call me the Redneck Financial Advisor, right? That's my running nickname. And this is my peak. This is it. I mean, I am more thrilled about this, man, because you have been a part of my life since I was a junior in high school, all the way through the Marine Corps. And man, here I am, 53 years old, finally meeting somebody who I felt like has been a part of my life forever. So I want to thank you for that. And again,
and by the way, you were in Somalia. I was in Somalia.
You have your chocolate chips, which were what they called the camouflage. Yeah. Is actually, again, I believe, at the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah.
What a great
It was
story.
not a great stay for you all over there.
No, we got out of there.
Look, the Belgians had it great. They had a chef and wines.
Well, it's the Marine Corps
The
for
Air
us.
Force had it pretty good.
Not the Marines.
But not the Marines.
The Marines never do. They never do. Well, Clint, thank you for your time, brother. I really do appreciate it.
My pleasure.
God bless you, man. Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Thanks for listening to Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox. To learn more, visit getfst.com.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Wadadley Financial Group. Wadadley Financial Group is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Wadadley Financial Group are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Wadadley Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any government agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Wadadley Financial Group.